Well, holy shit balls! There you are. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yeah, absolutely. I know what I did wrong. I had the webcam operating in two different apps, and it all just fucked up. So I had to reboot, so it can only concentrate on one app at a time, and then I have to reboot.
Yeah, you can't be running Pornhub and Messenger at the same time. It's not good.
No, no.
No.
I'm learning all this shit. I mean, like, I do video conversions, but that's all VHS, and beta. I got beta jobs coming up this week. So, anyways, fuck that shit. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic.
You enjoying Florida?
But Florida's awesome. I mean, it was a measly 78 degrees here today.
Oh, too bad, man.
It's a rough life, to be honest with you. Somebody's got to do it though.
Oh, you missed out on the ice storm up here.
Didn't miss anything, to be honest with you.
Holy
Didn't
shit.
miss a damn thing.
Oh man, I know a lot of people are still out of power, and God help them. And
That's
but
that's crazy. I can't imagine like modern day society being without power for a week. You know,
I don't know what's right or what's wrong with whatever grids, but it is sectioned off like just like three houses up. People had power all fucking week, and in town, well, they were concentrating on the biggest populaces, right? Which makes
obvious.
sense. So they got to get the biggest towns and whatever up and running, and I get it, but holy moly, is like,
There was people in Australia that didn't have power still.
it was chaos though. I mean, it was so bad. Like when I posted on Facebook, like you could hear things crackling and falling off. You could hear it all day long for 2 days and 2 nights. You're sleeping and you're hearing it. I was like, is my big tree coming down now? And parts of it did, and like just every street was decimated. And up on our fourth concession at the end of our road, they had something like 14 hydro poles down just along there. There was like 2,000 hydro poles that just couldn't handle this shit, plus all the trees falling on it, right? So it was awesome. I mean, awesome that it was so powerful in such a short amount of time. Like, it was just unbelievable. It's like, holy shit.
I've been through quite a few ice storms, and they are not. I'd rather have a snowstorm than an ice storm, like 100%.
Well, at least
Like ice storms are devastating because shit just falls.
yeah.
Snowstorm, you just got to shovel. You can deal with snow. Ice, you don't know. It's a great barrier.
You get the snow blower out and you work at it and everything, but ice was just, you could just see all these icicles hanging down off of it. All my trees were bent over. Like, it was just
Yeah.
but what can you do? And then a few days later, we had another ice storm, but it wasn't as bad. But oh well, it gave me a lot of time to. We weren't totally without. I had a generator that hooks up to the house, and we could run the furnace and the water and stuff like that. We weren't totally without, but it was just huge inconvenience to us, and a lot more problems for a lot of other people that were not prepared.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of sales uh, on generators and everything. Like all the stores were putting it on Facebook. Hey, if you want one, call in now because you're gonna be without. So like they sold tons of generators.
But
It's
the
like,
best part is wait till summertime if you need a generator because you'll be able to buy them for next to nothing because everybody's going to get rid of them.
but you know what? Even then, you still need them. Like my generators were the best investment I ever made because I got them like 7 months ago. Sorry, 7 years ago, not months. And because we always had power outages, and I'm like, I'm tired of this. Let's invest in this shit. And for 7 years, like we barely had any problems, minor problems that were like, okay, well, you look on the app, it's gonna be out for 5 hours. Well, I'm not gonna set all this shit up. I'll wait 5 hours and see you in the morning. But like for 7 years, we didn't have to deal with this shit, but we were prepared, and a lot of people were prepared, and a lot of people were not prepared. And I think if you're living up here, you got to be prepared. Oh, hold on.
I had to put my fan on. It was too hot.
Here, I got something for you. Not sure if it'll show up on my end. I'm kind of in the dark here, but
Your MAGA hat, that's nice. Listen, there's a lot of unhappy people down here right now. You know, not in Florida. You know, we don't care. This is Trump town down here, but they were out there protesting this weekend, and of course I drove by and laughed at them and rolled down the window, and I didn't tell them to F off. I was pretty good. I just rolled down and booed and laughed at them, you know. This is still Trump country down here. We're not we don't sway our vote here down
well,
here. So.
I'll let you know. I am recording this in case we decide to
That's
use
fine.
this.
That's fine. I don't care. You have my permission.
Okay, I should have told you that up from the.
I was hoping you were recording in case I said something clever. I wanted to make sure it made it.
Yeah, I'm like, holy fuck, I better catch this in case I do something good, because I really suck. But I won't get into all the politics just yet. But what do you think? Do you think there would be a problem in Florida if all the snowbirds didn't come down?
I don't think anybody would give a shit, to be honest with you. I don't think anybody would care. Nobody likes the snowbirds anyways.
Okay.
They're terrible tippers. They hog the beach. They drive like shit. And all they do is come down here, rent our places, and leave. That's it. Nobody likes snowbirds.
Really? See,
All of us snowbirds. Nobody likes them. Nobody wants them here. Just like you wouldn't want a bunch of Americans coming up to Canada in the summertime and hanging out in cottage country, would you? No. You'd be like, what the fuck are these guys doing up here? You know what I mean? Look at these guys are arrogant. They're leaving their Budweiser beer cans all over the place. You know what I mean? They're making fun of our money everywhere they go. That's what a snowbird is down here. We don't like snowbirds. Sorry, it's true.
You've got a perspective that I just don't know about.
As a Canadian myself, born and raised now, mind you, in Canada. Don't forget now, to anybody who's listening to this or does listen to this, don't take my perspective as anti-Canadian. I was born and raised in that very country. So I have a very good perspective on both sides of the coin.
Aurelia Strong, baby.
Aurelia Strong. Aurelia, after 48 years, still a population of what, 30,000? What is it? It's the worst. Of course, of all the cities I was born into, it would have been Aurelia. But that's my luck. You know.
I still get lost in that town for some reason.
I still know. I know where the Opera House is.
Like my GPS doesn't work in that town for some reason. It always spits me out in the wrong direction. But
well, you're not missing much. Like I said, when I went back there a couple of years ago and saw you and some of my friends, like I couldn't believe how big Barrie was.
Yeah.
You remember Barrie was like 36,000 people.
Yeah.
Now what is it, like 250,000? What is it? It's crazy. It's huge.
Something like that, yeah.
But that's okay. But no, we don't like snowbirds particularly. Some of the business owners might, but they're not. Like I said, if a snowbird never came back to Florida, I don't think this state would even blink.
Right.
We've had so many people move here from the other northern states in the last 2-3 years. Like the population of Florida has been increasing so much because people are running away from blue Democratic northern states and their taxation and their policies and their liberal policies. And they're coming to Florida because it's a safe haven. There's no sales tax. There's no, it's freedom down here. You know, DeSantis is a great governor, and it's like a haven for freedom down here as best as you can get it. You know, so there's a lot of people that have moved to Florida. So we don't rely on the snowbirds for any kind of, real monetary input, because there's just been so many more people come move down here that they make the difference.
Without giving your exact area, what general area do you live in Florida?
I live right in Gulf Breeze, which is a little it's almost an island it's almost an island off Pensacola. So we're technically Gulf Breeze. I have a Gulf Breeze address. I live over a 3.5-mile bridge across the bay, and we live basically on an island. If you look up Pensacola and then keep going down, I'm about 7 minutes from the entrance to the Gulf of America now. So that's where I live.
What made you give up making your own maple syrup to move to Florida?
So, we work for the government. My wife and I work for the government.
Right.
And we both worked. She worked for the Air Force. We're both Air Force people. She's retired Air Force. I got out. I'm a veteran Air Force. She's, veteran Air Force. We worked for the Air Force as DOD civilians, government civilians for the Air Force. And then I took a job working with GSA, so I started working for the executive branch in the courthouse. And she kept working for the DOD. Well, she got a job offer to come down to work for the Navy. That's how we got down here. And her parents lived down here in Gulf Breeze. So we live about 3.5 blocks from her parents now. That's the house we ended up buying was that, just to be close to her parents after all these years. So that's how we got down here. And then I got lucky and got a job working with the Navy too as a DOD civilian as well. So we're both still DOD civilians.
Wow. So what does DOD stand for?
Well, so we work for the Department of Defense, right? Or DOD. Right. If you're, I forget that you guys don't know all the lingo that I know, right?
Is that Dodge? Or is that DOD?
I've been working for the government since I was 19, right?
Yeah.
In some capacity. So I worked for, I was active duty Air Force for almost 10 years, and I got out, and then I went and worked for KBR for 4 years. We're living in Iraq, remember all that time? I lived over there for all that time, and then came back, and then worked for the DOD Air Force as a civilian in Ohio, and then we moved down here to Florida. So we've been doing this for a while, working for the government. So Department of the Navy is who we work for now. We actually work for the Navy as civilians. We're at the home of the Blue Angels. I don't know if you know what the Blue Angels are.
I've heard the name. What is it? It reminds
that's like the Navy's premier. It's kind of like the Thunderbirds or the Canadian Snowbirds.
Oh, okay, right. Yes, that's true.
They're the flying dem. So it's kind of a big deal down here to be home of the Thunder, or the stupid
the Thunderbirds.
The Thunderbirds are the Air Force version. That's the Air Force version.
Right on. Okay.
And then we have the Blue Angels. So this is Blue Angel Town. So it's very military town down here. A lot of retirees down here, of course, because where are you going to retire? You're not going to retire in Missouri. You're not going to retire in Oklahoma. A lot of Navy retirees down here, and just general retirees retire in the Florida Panhandle.
When you first said Blue Angel, I'm thinking, are you putting a lighter at your asshole?
No, we don't do that anymore.
Okay, right on.
Or any less sometimes.
Probably edit that now.
No, it's fighter. It's not fighter town. It's just stupid. And so the Blue Angels, their shows are big deals, right? People come from all over. They travel all over America and put these air shows on. And these sons of bitches fly over my house 4 times a day, like 5 times a week. All I hear is fighter jets, because they fly out over the Gulf of Mexico, right? Over the safety of the water, in case something happens, they can eject over sea, not over land, right? So their flight path is literally, this is how bad my life is, right? I live in Gulf Breeze on an island by the Gulf of America. The Blue Angels practice over my house 3 days a week. I can just sit in my backyard and watch the Blue Angels fly every day of the week. I can drive 7 minutes to be on the beach. I can take a boat. The boat launch is 2 minutes from my house. I can be into the Gulf of America through the channel in 14 minutes. Like, my life's pretty rough. It's pretty tough life.
Good for you, man.
Yeah, but I had to put a lot of time and effort in to get here too, so a lot of sacrifice.
As the WWE universe would say, you deserve it.
I paid my dues. Paid my dues, brother. I trained hard. I took my vitamins. I said my prayers. I did it all, brother.
Oh, people don't like him in California.
No, buddy, Hulk not a fan favorite anymore. I don't think. I haven't really kept up with it, but from what I understand, he's not a real big popular fellow.
He even got booed in Florida at one of the WrestleManias. But you know what? I keep telling him on Twitter or X. I don't think he's listening to me. Right now, he's trying to be a good guy, and it's not working. He's got to go full in NWO again, and then he can sell his beer. People
You know what he
buy his
needs to
beer.
do? He needs to just step away and let his legacy. It's got to be like most wrestlers are like a fine wine, right? You don't get better by hanging around till the very end, and just clinging around. When you're gone, your legacy cements itself, right? Like he's done enough.
He's gone on so many podcasts and told so many lies and stuff that.
Well, that's he's his own worst enemy, right?
Yeah, he's just got to keep his mouth shut. But
Exactly. All he had to do was walk away and let the fans decide. He's obviously we always have this. You see it on online all the time. So you give me yours. You tell me your Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
oh fuck, Hogan's on there.
Hogan.
I need 6 at least. I mean, there's.
Oh,
too
you
many.
get 4. You only get 4. That's Mount Rushmore. That's what makes it exciting.
Okay, for me, going chronologically, Hogan, Piper, Stone Cold. Oh, and it's like between The Rock and The Undertaker. But okay, like Andre is just on a mountain of his own. Like Andre's got to be up there. Like,
Well, I hear that a lot. I hear that Andre's, the best. I was like, well, Andre was just a really big dude. Now, granted, I didn't see him wrestle in his prime, right?
okay, go on YouTube. Okay, WrestleMania 3, he was done. He was fucking finished.
Yeah, he was done by that point.
But the stuff
I didn't see him in the 70s.
The stuff that
You know?
he did in the 70s and real
Yeah.
early 80s with Harley Race and stuff, he was able to do drop kicks and stuff. He'd let them body slam. Hogan wasn't the first one to body slam. Hogan even body slammed him in Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Was it Roosevelt?
He did it in Japan at one point, way before WrestleMania.
So, I
Yeah.
don't even know what tangent I'm on now, but yeah. Rushmore. Yeah, like there's eras, right? Like you gotta kind of go by era. Like Ric Flair
like-
bugs the shit out of me.
But listen, mine is Hulk Hogan's on the Mount Rushmore because he made wrestling, right? He made it mainstream. I don't care what anybody says. Him and Vince McMahon. I put Vince McMahon on Mount Rushmore because without Vince McMahon, we're not even talking about this sport, right?
Right.
He created everything. He had the vision. If it wasn't for Vince McMahon, there would be none of these guys. So everybody always forgets about Vince. And I'm sure now Vince may have taken some wrong turns around the way, but none of us are perfect. You know what I mean? But if he hadn't created it, I mean, look what he took from basically nothing and created the world's most electrifying wrestling entertainment organization, $1 billion global company. I mean, it's amazing what he did.
I can remember an early match when Big John Studd and Ken Patera was going against Andre the Giant and SD Jones. And that was the first big thing. Andre got his hair cut.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then from there, you got Hogan, Cyndi Lauper, the Rock and Wrestling Connection. All that shit really just blew up.
Blew up, just took off. And they did the wrestling album and everything. It was so, like, people will never understand how big it was.
I mean,
like, it was so, you remember staying up and watching Saturday Night Main Event?
Yeah.
And it was the biggest deal of the month, like for kids. Like we were on pins and needles at 11:25 when the first promo would pop on because you didn't even know what was going to happen.
Yeah, there was even if you read the TV guide, it just said Saturday night.
Saturday night main event, and you wouldn't know what was going to happen, but you knew something good was going to happen. You knew a belt was going to change hands, or there was going to be a title fight, because they didn't have just title fights back in the day, right?
Yeah.
Not like they do now. I mean, that was a title like the main event was it.
Roddy Piper giving out Halloween candy to kids.
But you gotta put Ric Flair on there. I think Ric Flair's got to be on the Mount Rushmore. I mean, that guy has done for wrestling what I don't think. Nobody else can do what he do. Nobody else could do it the way he did it.
He was the wrestler's wrestler.
Yes.
In his prime and all that, doing all those dates all every night. Hogan wasn't doing those nights.
No.
But he did a lot, but he wasn't doing what Flair did.
He wasn't doing what Flair did.
No. So.
And Flair was humble too, almost. Even though he doesn't seem like a humble guy, he would take the loss once in a while. You know what I mean?
He would put
He would
people
take
over.
he would take the bump for the guy. Like he would do that.
Oh, he was a pinball machine.
Oh yeah, I mean he was a hell of a wrestler, even though nobody liked him.
So,
Now, if he started out in WWF, can you imagine how big he would be?
I think they dropped the ball with him in WWF, but
Well, they did because he was already passed. But I think Hogan, Flair, and then after that, I'm like, you could take your pick. Like you could pick anybody, honestly.
I was a Bret Hart. Bret Hart, man.
Bret Hart, yeah.
He was a big impact.
I was a Bret Hart fan, but I wouldn't put him on Mount Rushmore.
No.
You know. I wouldn't. Undertaker's pretty good, but I think I wouldn't put him on Mount Rushmore. Stone Cold, I don't know. The Rock, I don't know. John Cena, I think they're all big wrestlers, but I don't. Honestly, I think you could make a case for Stone Cold because he revolutionized it again when it was needed it the most.
Yeah.
Him and The Rock. But it was really Stone Cold. That's the only reason I ever got back into wrestling because my sister called me and said, "Are you watching this Stone Cold guy?" I was like, "Nah, I care. I don't even pay attention to fucking wrestling. I couldn't care less. I don't even watch." She's like, "You should just watch it again. It's pretty fun. This Stone Cold guy's pretty." And that's the only reason I ever started watching wrestling again.
Same here, because up until then they started having these goofy characters like the Goon and T.L. Hopper, the plumber.
Earthquake. Freaking stupid. It was getting pretty goofy, but I don't know. I think you could put those two on. Now here's a more important question. Let's segue real quick here.
All right.
This is hot topic news here. I'm sure it's high on the Canadian agenda up there. I'm sure there's a lot of chitter chatter about it up north of the border.
All right, Bret Hart for Prime Minister. Okay, go.
I don't care about that stuff. I'm talking about important things here, Shane.
Okay.
Life-shattering stuff. How about this Ovechkin guy breaking Wayne Gretzky's goal record? Is there any chitter chatter up there, up north about this?
It's all
How do
over
Canadians
Facebook.
feel about the great one's record being evaporated?
Right now, Canadians don't care. Well, okay. It's a big deal. I'm not a huge sports fan, so I'm not on the pulse. I've seen a lot of AI memes and things like that, so I don't even know what the hell's true. But people up in Canada were kind of pissed off at Wayne Gretzky at the whatever, the fucking American against Canada, because he come out of from the Americans team side and gave them the thumbs up and kind of snubbed Canadians. So I don't think.
I mean, they did sell him there back in the '80s. Don't forget how the freaking Oilers did him wrong and sold him to the Americans. Don't ever forget that. Don't think he hasn't forgotten that either.
Oh, so they traded him?
Don't you remember the Oilers? They sold him. They sold him to the Los Angeles Kings.
I really don't follow hockey. I put it on once in a while, and it's like I get caught up, and I'm like, then the Leafs lose, and it's like I don't know.
No. This is the year, baby. This is our year. This is our year.
Well, they're in.
They're in.
They're in.
They're doing really good this year. So
They keep
don't jinx.
getting in, and that's when I'm a what do you call that?
You're a fair weather fan, aren't you?
Yeah, well, when they're actually fucking doing something for something important, I'll watch it. Otherwise,
I'll,
I can't sit here night after night watching everything going on. I'd rather play guitar or something else, or like that's what I do. Is a lot of
yeah.
guitar.
Well, it's a pretty big deal in the hockey community down here in America. This Ovechkin guy is breaking the record. And of course, like you said, there's a lot of Canadians who are mad at Wayne Gretzky right now. And I'm like, how can you be mad at the great one? You know what I mean? Put all your politics aside. He's still the greatest hockey player of all time. So,
Yeah.
I was wondering I was just thinking how bad the Canadians are really taking this or if they need all this political unrest to settle first before they start thinking about it.
Well, you know what? I don't think they're taking it that bad because they're celebrating Austin Matthews,
Well, I mean, he's pretty good.
and he's a Leaf, right? But he's
But he's an
American.
American. He's an American, though.
So they're
So,
happy with him. It's like, this whole Canada versus U.S. is bullshit. I'll be honest. I think it's appalling that anybody booing the national anthem from the get go. I don't even know if they're still doing it because I don't watch it, but I think it's pathetic
well,
on both sides.
I think I don't think Americans care at all about it. To be honest with you, I mean, the only reason an American would get dragged into this Canadian, it's mostly the Canadians. The way I just looking at it, it's mostly them puffing their chest up because they always feel like America's looking over them and like we're better than you, and we are, we are because we're America. But that's how Americans think. We've always been like that. That's how we are. And Canada gets upset about it, and I honestly can tell you, not one American down here gives a shit. Nobody cares.
Let me put my mega hat on.
The only people that care are Canadians. Nobody in America cares one iota about this.
Now, right now, I don't even understand the tariff bullshit. But prior to Trump getting in and all the stuff that he said he was going to do, me personally, Shane Church, thought I agree with these ideas.
These aren't abstract ideas.
The illegal immigration and all that stuff. I'm like, yeah, it makes perfect sense. Like, we have the same problem going on here.
Yeah.
It's like, whoever's hat you put on, it's the same problem.
Well, these tariffs are a pretty big deal, but they're really not. If you understand how the world economy works and how everything works in the world, and if you really understand the crux of what he's trying to do here. So right now, Canada, let me just give you a quick little briefing here. So Canada has a 212% tariff on all Canadian milk coming into, or any American milk that is sold in the U.S., right?
Okay.
So Canada has tariffs on the U.S. right now because we're a bigger country. So they look at it as like, hey, if you want to sell your milk here in Canada, you're going to have to pay tariffs on it. So, and we're like, okay, well, we just want to be able to produce and sell milk, and you're our neighbor, so we're helping you out basically by giving you these tariffs so you can sell some of your stuff in our country. So Canada, what Trump said is, hey, we're tired of paying you 212% for milk. We're going to start charging you, I don't know, 25% to import your maple syrup.
Right.
And then, so if tariffs are bad, then why are they only on America, right?
Exactly. And
So-
then on the flip side, we go, oh, well, if you're going to tariff our tax, for a better word, tax our maple syrup, well, we're going to tax your butter. It's fucking stupid.
It's all stupid. It's all stupid. There shouldn't be any tariffs, right?
Yeah.
There shouldn't be any tariffs.
Now,
And that's the whole goal of it, is actually to get to zero. And every country should be manufacturing and taking care of themselves. That's what we're trying to get to.
wasn't there an agreement about it? I'm not hugely political. Look, I'll admit, I'm just an ordinary guy. I'm not that smart. I'm not that educated. I'm just like sitting here going, well, what about this? What about that? Why is it that we make agreements and then just break them? Like, if
Well,
the
the long-
agreements weren't that so great, so let's just renegotiate and stop having everybody in Canada go, our main problem is Trump. It's not.
No, it's not your problem.
It's not.
Your main problem is your own government. Your main problem is your own government running your country, right?
The last 10 years of bullshit that led us to people can't afford homes. They can't buy anything. The groceries have gone up. The tax on soil. And
I just checked. So I just checked before I literally got on here. I said, how much money has because we're on the Federal Reserve down here, right?
Okay.
I don't know how your monetary policy, but we're on the Federal Reserve. So our money isn't backed by gold anymore. We're not on the gold standard. We're on the Federal Reserve, which means back in the 70s or so, they gave the Federal Reserve, it's supposed to be detached from the government and make independent decisions about our monetary policy. And they tell us when we can or not print money. But of course, it's at the discretion really of the political, entourage in charge, of course. So if you get people in there from certain political sides, they're going to do whatever they want, right? So I checked, and since 2020, the United States has printed $15 trillion of debt. That's how much money we print. So we've created out of thin air $15 trillion since 2020. And probably about 10 to 15 trillion of that went into propping up the stock market. The government told the Fed, print money to prop up stocks and then put it into the market, buy securities. They use their shell companies like BlackRock and JPM, all these big companies. They give all these funds billions and billions and billions of dollars and say, buy securities to prop up the stock market. Well, that's why the stock market went up 100% in the last 4 years. And then when 5 or 6 trillion get wiped away, I think, well, it didn't really get wiped away because it really was fake money in the beginning. So we're actually just reset to where we started a year ago on market-wise. Has nothing to do with tariffs. It has to do with the freaking $1 trillion bubble that was created by just pumping fake money into the market. That's why the market's selling off. These tariffs are like hundreds of billions, have nothing to do with the market.
Well, that's similar to us in Canada. I mean, with COVID and everything, they were
Yes, the
printing
inflation, the
money.
governments are spending crazily.
Well, I can't bring it up. If I had it, hold on, give me a second. We can edit this out. Oh, fuck. I save too much stuff on my phone, but basically, Trudeau in 10 years has spent more money than any other prime minister, has created more debt than any other prime minister combined since the beginning of Canada.
Yeah, that's the same thing they did here. They just printed money for the last 4 years. They just printed trillions and trillions for what?
Makes inflation go up.
Yeah. Look at our house prices.
And then here, everybody complains, well, the PCs voted against minimum wage going up. Well, okay, so minimum wage went up by $5 or $6 an hour here, so the prices jacked up even more. So, like, you're not winning. If a pound of bacon was $3 and now it's $9, and all this stuff transpired in between, what do you think happened? Well, you're at the same wavelength as you were before, but
I get it because things are inherently more expensive than they were 5 years ago, right?
Yeah.
Now my wages haven't gone up exponentially to match the demand, but okay, say you're making $15 an hour. Okay, I'll tell you what, why don't you just make $50 an hour then? How about that? Will that make you happy, Shane, if I pay you $50 an hour to go flip burgers at McDonald's? Will that make you happy?
Sure.
Just say yes. Sure. All right, cool. Oh, guess what? Now Big Mac meal is going to be $28.
Absolutely, it almost is.
And your house prices are now going to go up to $700,000. Well, you make $50 an hour. Well, I can't afford that. Okay, well, let's pay you $100 an hour then. Will you be happy with that, Shane? $100 an hour.
The minimum cost of a small house dinky house in Toronto is over $1 million.
It's crazy.
Everything else up here over COVID, because of the demand, people weren't going to the office, so they wanted to move north. They wanted to get away from the sick people, all this stuff, and it doubled, man. Which is good for people that want to sell and make a profit. But anybody that wants to buy, good fucking luck.
Well, and if you do sell, what are you going to do? You got to buy another house, right?
Where are you going to go?
At inflated prices, and interest rates are double, almost triple than what you were when you started at.
There was places where you could say, okay, I'm going to sell my house at $600,000 closer to the city, say Markham. And now I'll move up to Gravenhurst and I'll be able to buy a place and have it paid off. That does not exist anymore. You're just moving the same amount from one area to another. There's not a lot of cheap areas anymore.
No, there's nothing, because then the interest rates up what they are there, but they're about 6.5%, almost 7% here. And there's no house in this area in Florida that's less than like $500,000 in a decent neighborhood, right? Yeah. And we sold our house in Ohio and moved into a smaller house and paid $100,000 more, right? We left 6 acres and a big house and bought a little quarter-acre suburbia lot with a smaller house, and it was $100,000 more. But that's what you had to do to get into the area you want to live in.
Right. Do you have any fucking crocodiles there?
No, because crocodiles live in Australia.
Oh.
So we don't have any crocodiles. They're not native to America.
Yeah.
How
about alligators?
No, we don't have any alligators up. It's too cold up here.
Okay, see, this is what I think. All I think of is down south, there's a lot of alligators. I see the videos and everything. They steal people's dogs and stuff. They eat babies at fucking Walt Disney and all this.
Well, you know, and I say that, right? I say we don't have alligators here in Pensacola. I've never seen an alligator. Now, when I lived in South Florida, when I first moved to America, back when I was 17, in South Florida, we had alligators in the canals. Like in the freshwater canals, there were alligators in there. But they didn't, I never really went to canals, so I wasn't worried about it. Now, but you go over to Louisiana, they got alligators all over the place. Which I'm like, well, what's the difference? Why come we don't have alligators here, but they got them over there? Because we're not really that much different weather-wise. You know, we do get cold here in Pensacola. It does get down into 30. You know, we had 10 inches of snow this year.
Hey, do you have your guitar handy?
I got it over there in the corner, yeah.
Is it plugged in?
Yeah, it could be.
Can you play for a second while I take a whiz?
Yeah, I'll see if I can bust it out.
All right, I'll keep people entertained. Hello, I'm a juggling clown. Man, I haven't heard you play. Oh, you're not even on the cans right now. This guy can shred people. Oh, look at that. You got some Van Halen shit. Here we go. Entertain this for a minute while I take a pee break.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
All right.
Right on. Listen to him shred, man. This is my cousin. Cousin from the States. Panama! Panama! Right on. Not bad for a first podcast, eh?
Not bad.
Not bad. Well, this is what I'm wanting. I don't expect everybody to play guitar, but right on.
Well, they should. They should. They want to be a
Right on.
man. So
Even if
that's
it's
fine.
bad. Who cares? Plink, plink, plink.
I spent a lot of years refining my craft, so it's okay.
So, right.
But the worst part is I just play the same 4 songs over and over again. I'm really good at it. Because it's like any Gen Xer, I refuse to listen to new music and learn new music, right? I'm still, like, got the Black Album, I turned off my ears and I don't listen to anything new.
Well, I probably know about 600 songs, sorta.
Yeah, I know about 600 riffs and probably 4 songs total. Like 4 songs I can play from start to finish and about 600 riffs.
Oh, I know hundreds start to finish. I'm just saying there might be some issues in between.
No, I don't, like, I always want to learn a song so I could, like, play it on stage if the guitarist ever got violently ill in the middle of a show, that they could say, hey, if there anyone in the audience that could play Crazy Train from start to finish, or could play Panama, or 3 or 4 Guns N' Roses songs from start to finish without a mistake, I'd be like,
How about when you were a security guard for, what was it, Kim Mitchell? They could have pulled you up on stage.
how long ago was that?
I remember you telling us that story.
That was fucking what? We were 12. Should have been doing anything. You know what I'm getting in my feeds for some reason. I'm getting a lot of Tragically Hip feeds in my. I must have watched a Tragically Hip video somewhere along the lines, and now it's like anything else. You watch it for 2 minutes, and now the rest of your life you're watching the fucking those things come into your life. And I always forgot about how cool the Tragically Hip were.
Right.
Because when you come to America, I don't even think anybody could. I don't think anybody in America knows who they are.
Probably
not. I've never heard of them down here. Like I would say they're Tragically Hip, and you're like, who's that? I'm like, never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. You wouldn't get it. Like Bryan Adams is like the biggest Canadian thing, or Celine Dion down here, or Nickelback.
Nickelback. Where are you on the Nickelback side there?
Oh, I love Nickelback. I don't care about people's opinions on anything. I just like their music. I think their music's kind of groovy.
I think they've got some good shit. I'm not heavy into them, but
no, I wouldn't. Wouldn't before. I would buy a concert ticket if they came through town.
But
that's what I would do.
I recently had a drummer here that, oddly enough, is a neighbor of mine that I never knew. I just recently met him. He says, I will never play Nickelback. I'm like, that's okay, man. I don't know any, but I like their shit. But okay, now 20 years ago, that Hero song was driving me nuts.
Yeah.
But a hero can save us. But now I don't hear it anymore.
I mean, I couldn't care less about anybody's opinion on what I should and shouldn't listen to. You know how it is when you get to almost 50. Like, you don't give a shit about anybody's opinion basically anymore.
Brother, amen. That happened to me last year when I turned 50. It was just like, turning 40 was more emotional than turning 50. Turning 50, I just decided, like, I just don't give a flying F anymore about anything. I mean, I care, but I'm like, if you don't like it, well, go screw.
I look at the realization, I'm 48 now. I'll be 49 this year. Like, I may only be around on this planet for another fucking 10 years. What do I know? I don't even know.
10 to 20. 10 to 20.
10 to 20 max. And you think I'm going to sit here and worry about your opinion of me? Like, oh my God, I have had an epiphany. I could not care one iota. If you like me, if you don't like me, I don't fucking care. I got 4 people in this house that I care about. That's it.
Yeah. I'm just like, I know that I've spent a lot of time trying to please people and impress people, and it's just like, I got a small circle of friends, and okay, you got your people on Facebook that like things and comment, whatever, but they're not really your friends. They don't come and check on you. They don't hang out.
I'm not even an acquaintance, barely, right? Why would I care? If I don't value your opinion, why would I care about it, right?
I've got somebody, I won't mention the name, that only pops up to disagree on politics. All the other things, my personal life and everything that I put on there, my dogs, my struggle with power outages, all this other stuff, nothing. No comments, no interest, no matter. I could have a birthday, whatever, no happy birthday. But as soon as, damn it, I post something against the liberals, boom, they pop up out of nowhere, and you're like, well, where in the fuck were you the last year?
I barely posted anything this year on Facebook. Like, I've distanced myself from Facebook because I don't care. I mean, I just don't fucking care. I really don't.
I've become an addict to it. I admit it. I'm on it all the time and stuff, and I don't know why, because I get sick of it, and then I gotta walk away, and I'm just like, I gotta focus just on what's in front of me, and not like what so and so from another province thinks. Like, you know.
Well, see, when I got sober, man, like all this shit really opened up my eyes to fucking like not caring about stuff that doesn't bother me. Like I don't let things bother me anymore. Like I don't hang on to that shit anymore. I don't care. And one of the best things about getting sober was the clarity of like, oh, I don't fucking care. Like I don't care about Facebook because it takes away time from me doing what I want to do because I may only have 20 years left on this planet. So what do I care?
That's the way to look at it. Yeah, you're like, how
I've
am I
got
going to spend my days?
Yeah. So like the wife was gone this weekend. She was up in Washington State, and I had the girls this weekend. So it was me and the girls. So we went to the mall. We went and got boba. We went and watched the new Minecraft movie in 3D. We did all these fucking things because that's way more important to me than fucking going fishing or doing something else that I worrying about looking at Facebook or playing a video game. We stayed up watching movies and eating chips. It was fun.
That's awesome, man.
Speaking of my wife, she's updating me on her flight right now. She's in Atlanta trying to get home.
Oh.
But I'm supposed to pick her up later tonight. Well, she's boarding. That's good news. Good news. Good news. So I might only have an hour or so left. But yeah, I don't worry about stuff. I don't care about anybody's opinion of what I say or do. It doesn't bother me at all. Whatever, and you can say whatever you want about me. I couldn't care less. You're like, yeah, Sean's a real dick. I'm like, yeah, probably is. Sean's an asshole. He probably has been at some point.
Oh, dude, you don't even know how far. Like the stuff that I would say would just. I think everybody would stop liking me. And it's almost like, and it's almost like, yeah, well, just fuck off.
Well, fuck off then. I don't care. Like and people, I was like, no, when I say I genuinely don't care what you think about me, like I can't even begin to tell you how much I don't care about most people's opinion on anything. It doesn't bother me one iota. It's not your life, it's mine.
There is a very, it used to be big. But there is a very, very small group of people that actually care about me in my day-to-day life, and that's my core, I guess.
That's it. When you boil it down, it's really about 2 or 3 or 4 people in your life, right?
My grandpa Chater used to say, if you can count on one hand how many true friends you have in your life, then you're a rich man.
You're a rich man, because some people don't even have that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or they got so many fake friends and they're trying to impress them and all this other things. And I get down here, everybody's, we're the poorest people in the neighborhood, right? Like we're the white trash of the neighborhood. And I'm like, I don't fucking care, because you know why? I'm in the neighborhood, right? It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
We don't have the Teslas and we don't have the boats. I don't have any of that shit, and I don't care.
Okay. Before you gotta get your wife.
No.
What in the hell is your opinion on Elon?
All right. Well, this is probably going to be another unpopular opinion with some of your friends.
Well,
I think.
Hello.
Yeah. Anybody else in here? Anybody in my room worried about my opinion? No, they're not.
Hello. Oh, you over there. Well, okay. Well, we'll talk later. Okay, go ahead.
So here's my opinion. Now I'm now taking into consideration that I work for the federal government, right? I'm in the midst of the throes of this big, downsizing they're going through. Now, I think Elon Musk is a savior, and I think he should be put on Mount Rushmore for what he's done in his life, what he's accomplished. You can always measure your accomplishments by how many haters you have, right? The more people that hate you, probably the more you've accomplished. That's the way I look at things. So Elon Musk has done pretty well for himself. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think I'm going to take, Stevie Snyder's opinion on Facebook with too much value about Elon Musk, the guy who's never accomplished anything in his life. compared to the guy who's built billion-dollar companies, has built a rocket that goes to space on his own and catches itself on the way back down,
And
modernized,
saves
fucking
astronauts.
modernized, and brought to market in less than 10 years electric cars that are actually functional, and sacrificed his entire life to go work for the government to try to save American taxpayers money and expose fraud and waste. So if you ask me about Elon, I like Elon more than I almost like Trump. So
Amen.
he's on the protect list. You know what I mean? Like, I will protect that man at all costs. And not to mention, he's also probably one of the smartest people of our entire fucking generation. Like, the guy built a rocket that catches itself in less than 10 years. NASA's been doing it for 70. We can't even get out of the fucking, they can't even get to the moon, right? This guy's built a rocket that catches itself.
Brother, just a couple of weeks ago, he saved stranded.
He saved the astronauts that they left to die in space, Shane. They left them to die. They left them to die. He's like, fuck it, I'll get them. Like, and then I don't understand the hate for the only reason. Now, I will give you this. I'm not a complete fucking, Trump cultist Elon call. I do disagree with some of the things they're doing. I do disagree with the way they are handling the government firings and getting rid of people and closing entire government positions, which is at their prerogative because they do run the government. But they cannot run the government like a business, right? Because we do not make money. I always say this, we're not X. We're not there to turn a profit. Governments aren't there to make money, right? So you can't run a government like you run a Fortune 500 company because the results, the desired results are different. We are an empty pit of money. That's what we do. We spend money and don't make any in return. Whereas X spends money to make money. That's the goal. Our goal isn't to make money in the government. So the way they're cutting the government and trying to trim people as if they're a commodity and a money-saving technique is like overall you're going to save a couple billion in salaries by downsizing the government the way they're doing it. It's not going to have any effect, right? It's not going to have any major effect on the American economy or money or taxes. So that I'm not really in agreement with. Now, is there a lot of fraud and waste in our government? 100%. Does it need to be exposed? 100%. Do I like the way they're getting rid of people randomly? Not really. But it's part of the process. Now, I don't like it, and I don't agree with it, but it is what it is.
Right.
As long as they don't come for my job. Now, they did offer, I am eligible for retirement right now, right? I am in the window for retirement. I could take a retirement right now.
Right.
I have 27 years of service, technically, right? At 48 years old, I could take my retirement, but my 27-year retirement and walk away from the government. But it wouldn't be enough to live on because they fucking inflated the prices so much right now that I couldn't survive. I'd still have to go work. So at that point, I'm just like, well, I might as well just keep working for the government because who else is going to pay me these kind of job benefits and money that I got? So I'll just keep going.
Would you get your benefits on retirement?
I would. I'd get them right away, but they wouldn't. I'd be, almost 10 years short of benefits. So because I can't retire till I'm 59 and 57 and a half, I think, is when I'm eligible to retire. But they would let me retire now, and I was like, well, I could go get another job and then collect my retirement. Wouldn't be that much though. Like it would, so I don't know. And what would I do with myself? Sit around and do nothing?
Yeah, that's the thing, man.
I'd rather.
That's what
if my wife can't, and if my wife can't retire with me, what's the point? I'd just be sitting around the home bored all day. So I was like, I might as well just keep working for now. So
that's what kills a lot of men is the boredom and all of a sudden just stopping, and you're like,
yeah,
what do I do?
No, I know what I would do if I retired. I would fucking go fishing every day. Like I would be out in the Gulf of America fishing every day because I love to fish, and I'm so close to the ocean. It's like I would go fishing a lot, but even that would get boring after a while. You know what I mean? So
I remember when you and I went fishing. We got up early one morning. Our family spent the night at your place, and we got up and we went to some canal or something or a river.
Probably, yeah, probably down by the mill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go fishing quite a bit. I still love fishing. It's one of the true last, because you know what you know what I love about fishing. You never know what it's going to be, right? You never know the outcome.
Yeah, I need to get out more this year. My brother, he just caught.
Fishes a lot.
Oh, he's out there on the St. Lawrence. So I don't know if
Yeah.
you follow Rob on Facebook, but
Yeah, I see him posting his. He posts his big bass pictures all the time.
he caught over 30 fish the last couple of days each day and stuff. So he's happy. That makes him happy.
That's good. Well, man, you got to have something in life to make you happy.
Yeah. Retirement is difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, now what do I do?
Now what do I do? First, I heard the first 2 months are awesome, and then it's like, now what?
I know a guy that I won't name him. That he comes here and plays guitar, and he's amazing. He retired just last year, and he's like, well, now all I do is smoke dope and play guitar. I got nothing else to do. So he's already back out in the workforce, like even part time, just to keep himself busy. You gotta keep yourself going.
Yeah, because as soon as that's why I'm still refereeing hockey. You know what I mean? I got to do like 28 games this next 3.5 weeks.
Wow. What kind of league?
Oh, I referee an adult hockey league, like a beer league.
Right on.
Now, don't laugh. These guys are pretty good.
Right on.
These guys are, they pay me a little bit of money, and I get to exercise 2 hours a night. I get to go skating, so it's great for me.
Good stuff.
But I'm not looking forward to the next month. It's gonna be tough sledding because it's playoffs too, and these guys all are fucking such dicks. You know what I mean? There's nothing worse than a washed up beer leaguer playing for the fucking beer can. And I gotta remind these guys, I'm like, guys, I appreciate the verbal abuse that you put me through, but this is literally you're playing for a fucking painted beer can. Just remember that. You know what I mean? It's this is the NHL. And but they are unmerciful to me as a referee. You know what I mean?
Really?
But oh my God, yeah, they treat me like shit.
They better pay you well.
No, they don't pay me well, but it's okay. I do it for the exercise and just I don't referee till 9:30 at night, so I don't miss anything. And so I don't. I'll be up till like midnight refereeing, and then have to get up and go to work the next day. But they are unmerciful, especially in playoff time too, right? Oh my God! I can't believe you fucking called that. You fucking I was like, yeah, I just go to the penalty box. That's fine. I know I'm the worst. You're the best. I know. I'm the worst player. I'm the worst referee in the world. I'm so stupid. And then it's all handshakes and hugs at the end of the game. It's like it's just an emotional sport like everything else.
Oh man.
But it keeps me moving. It keeps me active, and it keeps me going.
Yeah, good for you.
It gives me something to do. So, because the worst thing you can do is sit still. That's my thing. So.
Yeah, the devil can get you there.
They get you, man. Idle hands are the worst hands. That's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's boarded her flight. Nice. So yeah. But yeah, I'm 100% an Elon fan, and you'd hard pressed to change my mind on that ever.
I watched his stuff on Joe Rogan, and he's like just explaining it like night and day.
The guy is so fucking smart; it's unbelievable. He's the Einstein of our generation, like 100%.
I don't know where he came from. All of a sudden, he was just there. And
He's an alien himself. Listen, I don't know where he came from, but I said the guy. Whenever somebody starts, because there's a lot of people that everybody at work who hates Elon. Everybody in the government hates Elon now because they're all afraid they're going to fire them or their friends. And I'm like, hey guys, it's part of the process. So everybody hates Elon at work. So I'm always like, every time you tell me you hate Elon, I always remind you of the fact he fucking built a rocket in less than 10 years that can launch and catch itself. When somebody else comes along and does something better, then you can talk to me that Elon's a piece of shit because the guy catches his own fucking rockets.
Okay, last question here about Elon, and we'll wind it down because you got to get ready for your wife. So, Elon starts a company for all these green cars, right? The electric cars that everybody, all these tree huggers, we got to stop oil and all this stuff. We got to save the environment. We need these e-cars and everything. So he makes them, and people are buying them. But the people that wanted this stuff are the ones that are protesting him and setting his shit on fire.
Well,
Even in Canada, even up here, there's people protesting the Tesla station. Why? Why are you doing that?
well, that's what happens when you virtual signal, right? You're just a white knight for the next big cause, right? These people don't believe in any of the shit they're talking about, because if you do, personally, here's my take. Again, this is my Sean Morgan's take. I don't believe in climate change. I believe climate change. I believe the climate always changes and man has nothing to do with it. It's pretty egotistical for man to think he has any effect on Mother Nature whatsoever. Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life, that we can affect the weather.
She'll wipe us out, like, if she wants to, right?
She's gonna take us. Mother Nature will be around long after humans are gone from this planet. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
So first of all, I don't believe in climate change, and then I wholeheartedly don't believe in climate change. I think it's the biggest crock of shit. It's just another scam by the liberals. It really is, because there's no evidence of climate change.
And we get
I said, yeah, I was like, actually, there is evidence of climate change. It changes every 4 fucking months. It changes. The climate constantly changes. 10,000 years ago, there was an ice age. There weren't any humans. Hello.
Hey, winter was worse than last winter, and the winter before that was worse than the one before.
Well, remember, Shane, when in the 80s, what was it, right? It was the ice age was coming, right? Remember the ice age was coming? And then it was global warming, acid rain, global warming. And then global warming just became climate change, because it didn't really do it. Remember when Gore said the polar caps were going to melt by 2015, we'd be under 30 feet of water? Well, we're all still here, so.
I mean,
they'll say anything they need to print more money. Is why I firmly believe every government's corrupt, and they'll say anything they need to do to print more money and get more power.
Yeah.
But as far as these activists, I just laugh at them, and I was like, I hope they keep driving the prices of Teslas down, because I'll go buy one.
Oh, if they're affordable, sure.
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah. My neighbor's got a Cybertruck. It's pretty cool. I was like, everybody's like, hey, fucking. I say honestly, I think the Tesla trucks are pretty cool looking. I said that 2 years ago. I thought they're pretty cool looking because they're different. I look like a trash can. I was like, I don't fucking care. It looks pretty cool to me.
But
I don't know.
It looks like every science fiction movie ever made, right?
Absolutely.
So,
That's what it should look like.
But I'll just reiterate. I don't understand why people in Canada, of all places, are. I mean, I have friends that bought Teslas. I'm like, so you support it, but other people that they support the environment, but
it's only because of Trump, Shane. It's only because he went and supported Trump. That's the only reason they're doing this now, because they hate Trump so bad.
I'm not smart enough for this shit. I'm just not.
They hate Trump so bad that anybody who sides with Trump is a Nazi and a racist and a bigot. And look at, they're even calling Elon a Nazi now. It's like, he's from South Africa, right? It's like, he's not. He should go back to South Africa. Like, well, he's actually an American citizen, but you might as well tell me to go back to Canada then. Well, I'm an American citizen.
Canada, right?
Yeah. Well, I go back to Canada. I was like, I can't afford to go back to Canada. I couldn't afford to.
It boggles my mind, like, and burning people's cars, like, you are actually causing a fire that
I hope
supposedly does something to the environment, right?
I hope they put them all in jail. I hope they fucking put them all in jail, all the ones that catch.
It's vandalism.
It's what it is. It's like, you're not, they're like, well, they're trying to prove. I was like, whoa, okay, so you can just vandalize your opponent now, or you just, the whole thing is stupid. Like, it's vandalism. Put him in jail.
Yeah. You belong in prison.
They do. But no, I'm a big Elon guy. I love Elon. I think he's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah.
Him and Big Balls.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
it's definitely the talk of the town around here. But I was like, I don't pay too much mind because what am I going to do? I can't affect change, so I just do what I do.
Well, you don't know that. Maybe you can.
No, I do know I can't affect any change up there, and right now I don't want to change anything. I like what's going on, so that's what I voted for.
Yeah, I feel like anything I say just falls on deaf ears, and we'll just end up with more of the same. And people will get what they fucking deserve then. And that's all there is to it.
Well,
There's other ways of doing things, and 10 years of doing it one way hasn't proven to be successful in any way. But people are like, oh, well, we got this Carney guy.
he's just Trudeau 2.0, isn't he? I mean, he doesn't seem to be any different.
He just walked into the job. We haven't voted for him yet, but he's doing deals and stuff. And I'm like, he doesn't even hold a seat in Parliament. Parliament hasn't been in session since before Christmas. It's all a fucking joke. None of them are working.
But they hate Elon and Trump, and that's all that matters, right? That's all that matters.
Well, as long as we got that.
As long as you got that, that's all that matters. But that's all right, man. This shit happens. All of this never got popular until social media came around and people just talked about it. That's the only reason none of this people even talk about this stuff. So,
Yeah.
I think social media did kind of ruin the world one way, in a roundabout sort of way. So,
Yeah, with every good, there's a bad.
yeah. For the advent of instant information, you also get instant information, right?
Yeah.
Because now you can talk about everything right now. Like you used to have to wait to read the paper to see how bad things were.
Well, look at us right now. We're on video together.
Yeah, a couple old fucking fogies who don't have any business being on the internet discussing anything because like our opinions matter for diddly squat.
Macho madness.
Yeah, shut up, Mrs. Elizabeth. Yeah. I'll bust out my macho man every once in a while at work.
The cream of the crop.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I busted out the Hogan the other day.
Oh, did you?
I busted out the, well, let me tell you something, brother. You want some pens, or you want the 24-inch pens? I'm
Or
a
do you want
character.
some D-pens?
I'm a character at work because I don't fucking care, because I don't care about the job, and they can't fire me, so I just have fun every day I go to work. So I'm like, what are they gonna do? Fire me? Okay. That's not a threat, sir. At my age, I don't care.
Oh, wow.
It's good times though. It's been fun.
Thank you.
See, it's a lot. I think it's a lot more fun when you got two people, though. You know what I mean? Because then
It
you got
is.
something. 'Cause-
I can't do this on my own. I need people to feed off and talk to.
yeah, it's
Things-
hard to talk by yourself for like an hour or two. It's pretty
Well,
hard.
I tried it and it was just like, well. There's people that can do it, but I'm not one of them. So
Rush Limbaugh was the OG, right? You know who Rush Limbaugh is?
yeah, I know. He
Okay, yeah.
passed on, right?
He did a 3-hour show by himself, 5 days a week for 20, almost 30 years. I was like, looking back at that guy's the greatest broadcaster who ever lived, is Rush Limbaugh.
You know what my favorite show was from the U.S.? Opie and Anthony.
Opie and Anthony, I never really listened to them too much.
I preferred them. I was. I just lost it. Fucking. Oh my God! I just drew a blank.
Howard Stern was really big for a
I was
long.
a Howard Stern fan, but in like 2006 or 7, I worked for a company, Audible.com.
Mm-hmm.
I did customer service and all kinds of stuff from my home, working for them, and of course I had access to all the libraries and all the audiobooks and stuff and podcasts. And Opie and Anthony was one and I seemed to love them a hell of a lot more than Stern. They were even more edgier, but that was a long time ago. And I don't
Yeah.
see. I go on these tangents, which I couldn't do on my own. I just sit at the fucking stare at the wall and go, well, this next topic is gonna be.
Let's talk about anchovies, or let's talk about pineapple on pizza. Let's
You know
talk.
what? Okay, what happened to anchovies? I don't see that anymore.
It's an old person's food. You don't see anchovies anymore on pizza. It's not a thing anymore.
Yeah, it's just gone.
It's just like nobody even thinks about it.
Who wants dead fish on their?
It's fucking disgusting. It's like nobody ate it back in the day. There's no reason for it to ever be on a fucking menu. Like, who wants to put that? That's like, hey, put some smelt on there. Like, no, I don't want to smelt on my pizza. It's disgusting. Now, pineapple, I think, absolutely belongs on pizza. And I'll fight anybody to the death for that.
I can honestly say the Mount Albert Bakery pizza was great for the pineapple, but we loaded it up with every fucking thing.
You know what I don't like? And this throws everybody off. I don't like Canadian bacon.
You don't like peanut?
No, I do not. I don't like Canadian bacon, and I don't like ham, as they call it down here in the States. And they call Canadian bacon is just ham down here. And I don't like it on my pizza. I don't like it on my plate. I don't like it in any way, shape, or form. I don't like Canadian bacon.
I think we only get it on a bun up here.
Well, they call Canadian bacon ham down here, and they put it on a Hawaiian pizza and call it Hawaiian, right? With pineapple and ham. It's basically.
A Hawaiian is real bacon.
Yeah, but it's not down here. It's just ham.
Oh. Well, we put ham and bacon and I don't know.
You can get bacon. I order, if I order pizza, it's either pepperoni, just pepperoni and cheese, or I'll get pineapple and bacon. And that's what I like.
But up
Real
here, ham is ham, and it's not the female.
No, down here, ham is just they call Canadian bacon ham. And I was like, this is just fucking ham, and it's disgusting. I don't want it on my pizza. Americans are dumb in the ways of that. And nobody likes poutine down here. Everybody thinks it's disgusting. As if you can find anybody that even knows what it is.
That's because they haven't had the right one yet.
Yeah, that's what they say. But I was like, my wife had it up there. I made her try it when we went up there, and she's like, that is the most disgusting thing I've ever had in my life.
Where'd you have it?
At the 400 marker.
Oh. Well, that might be why.
Here, you can get your cowboy boots and your poutine at the same booth. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
Hey, the 400 market used to be the Happening Place, baby. It used to be the shizzle.
Yeah, and then we had the Stouffville flea market down the
I never did like poutine. I never did care for it. That wasn't my thing.
Everybody does it differently.
I never liked it at all, ever. Now, I did like fries and gravy. I did like that.
Yeah.
But that's it, just fries and gravy.
You want to try something weird? Fries and honey.
Fries and honey. I like honey in a lot of stuff. I dip my tater tots in honey.
Yeah.
It's good. Honey's a good.
Because back in the day, so I was like, what, fucking 15? I'm 50 now? Or even younger. We used to get the KFC meals, right? But their fries were always soggy. Back in the day, they were just fucking messy, soggy shit.
The chicken was the main game, not the fries. Yeah.
Yeah. So I would always put honey on the fries.
Honey's a good substitute. Honey's a great condiment. I like honey for a lot of stuff. But I think I got to get going here. I think I got to get to the airport soon.
Well, thank you, brother. Think it over and think if you want this to be episode 1 on my podcast.
But you do whatever you want, man. I don't care.
Anything that you want omitted, let me know.
No, I don't have any reservations about anything else. I wouldn't have said it.
Right on.
I'm a free spirit, man.
Well, hope to have you on again.
Oh, yeah, we should make this like a weekly thing.
I'm up for that. And by the way, congratulations, man. Seriously.
On what?
3 years.
Oh, that's not a big deal. I should be doing that anyways.
Well,
I'm just surprised I stuck with it, to be honest with you. But it wasn't hard. Once I got my shit together, I was like, okay, it was time. It was time.
well, I'm just saying I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. So is everybody else. So that's good.
And it's not my business, but anyway.
No, I don't have any problem talking about that either.
That could be in the show one day if you're up.
Yeah, we could definitely work that in as a topic somewhere down the road. I got no problem talking about anything.
I certainly have my demons. Anyways.
All right, man. Well,
I love you.
love you too, brother.
Thanks for coming on.
Oh man, it's been a blast. I think it's kind of fun. See how fast the time goes by?
It does. That it makes a big difference. So this is episode 1.
Yeah, episode 1 in the books. I was gonna write a theme. I got some theme music I'm writing on. I was gonna record it and get like a theme song going.
Okay. I'll give you a couple of days before I post this.
Oh, you can. Yeah, I want to kind of get the. I got to get this recording. I don't know anything about recording or computer interfaces or anything. I'm all learning literally from the. I just, this is what I do. I hyperfixate on things and I just fucking go all in. So.
Well, just give me this as a sign off.
Am I supposed to do that? What is that?
Bob and Doug McKenzie.
Bob? Oh, fuck, I don't know what that is, dude.
Oh.
That's so old, dude. I never watched that stuff. That's.
Take off.
Take off, you hoser.
Take off.
Okay.
It's
Take
a
off.
way to go. Take off.
I just want to say that this has been probably the best podcast, if not the best, one of the best. A huge podcast. These guys are a great job. They're doing a fantastic job on their podcast. These guys really hit it out of the park. These guys are special people right here. Very good stuff here. Probably some of the best. Not the best, but the very best. Very big, huge stars these guys are going to be. So congratulations.
Oh, fuck, I love your brother.
So my nephew came down for Christmas, Isaiah,
Right?
and me and him were doing that fucking Trump thing for the whole week. Like everything we said, we were. Some would say this is the best podcast. Some would say some of the finest podcasting you'll ever hear. And it's just some say the podcasting business will never be the same without these two in the business. So we would do that about everything we did. Fucking dinner. Some would say this dinner is fantastic. Some would say it's not so good, but some would say it's the best. We were driving everybody absolutely crazy. When my nephew and I get together, it's out of control.
Right on.
We're out of control. It's a lot of fun. So. But anyways. I don't know if that's how you do it or not, but with that
broken, but it was pretty close. Yeah.
All right, I'll try. Yeah, it's it's the pollen down here. It's pollen. It's always the pollen. But all right, man. Well, I will catch up with you. You edit this up and do whatever you want with it. I don't care. And
I'll leave it raw. I don't care what people think.
I don't fucking care either. You do whatever you want. I don't care.
Who's really gonna watch it anyway?
Yeah, nobody's gonna watch it anyways. Who gives a shit?
Do you
It'll be
think we're
3
gonna
viewers.
get-
It'll be
we're
3
gonna
viewers.
get-
It'll just be me refreshing it.
No, or 700,000 times.
Yeah, that's how you do it. That's how you
With a
get followed.
million likes. And,
Yeah, that's how we do it.
Who are we gonna get?
999,000 of them are me and my fake accounts.
Who are we gonna get as sponsors?
Oh, I don't think anybody's gonna want to sponsor this. To be honest with you.
Mega.
There you go, Erica Gray. Yeah,
Sponsored by
baby.
Mega.
Future Mag. Sponsored by Mega. The only one that really cares about you.
There we go.
All right, man. I'm gonna get out of here and go get my wife before she gets mad at me. So,
All right. God bless. Take care.
God bless you, brother. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
All right, bye bye.
Love you.